Mind over matter, I gotta keep going. Can't slow down, I gotta keep rolling. Optimism over doubt, got no time to be hopeless. A lot of people run their mouth trying to knock off my focus. Maybe cause they know that I'm one of the dopest. Maybe cause they know what I want, I'ma go get. Spoken word shows did that cause I'm a poet. Hopped on some beats and flow sick. COVID, I got willpower, I don't know if you know this. Panic, never panic, no time to be choking. Doors open up, can't hesitate to go in. Can't hold yourself back, that's when doors start closing. Long as you know where you going, ayy. Nothing can stop you. If they try to clown on your name, no, it's not true. God send me blessings like I prayed and I you. If I let them tell me who I am, then I'm screwed. Some try to say the damn sky is not blue. If they don't have my best interest, then I'm cool. Didn't get the message, better check your damn Yahoo. Only have to prove things to me, still have a lot to prove. One thing inevitable in life is its obstacles. Not a know-it-all, I'm just trying to be logical, inspirational, relatable, motivational to the youth. Nobody's perfect, hell, I'm living proof, but this is bigger than me, fam, it's bigger than you. I'ma go hard till I'm in a casket in a suit. I got willpower, it explains the attitude.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Mental Fitness Hub. I'm Coach Chris.
Grant Flanders, also known as G.
Hey, man, and we are back again talking NBA playoffs. We are in the second round of the conference semifinals, and a lot has unfolded. A lot has unfolded. We have a bunch of different matchups that we're going to quickly review, and then we're going to dive into the big one, our favorite.
I think everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Everyone's got everyone's eyeballs.
Okay, we're not the only ones.
No.
Huh? All right, that is the Lakers versus the Warriors. All right, my prediction of Lakers in 5 was wrong, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I was going with my heart when I probably should have went with my mind. This is the Mental Fitness Hub, I probably should have stuck with my mind. But like I said.
That's what makes you. That's what makes you.
Right. I had a heart too, right? But anyways, man, some team season have ended, in the second round. Some good teams, and obviously we're going to see more and more of that because, at the playoffs, there's only one team that gets to lift up that Larry O'Brien trophy.
Mm-hmm.
But, which game you want to talk about first?
Well, you just talked about good teams that just bounced, and one that just bounced out of the playoffs last night was the Phoenix Suns at the hands of a really talented Denver Nuggets team. But man, that's the interesting one. They traded for Kevin Durant midseason. I think they thought in their mind, this is our ticket to winning a national championship, winning an NBA Finals, but they couldn't even reach one. They could just reach the second round. I mean, had a tough, go at it with the Nuggets, and really relied on two guys, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, to really get it done. And, it didn't help that they didn't have their defensive stalwart in the paint and DeAndre Ayton, who was
point guard.
Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton both being out.
Growing.
That's obviously too much to take, because you need Ayton to try to contain Jokic, who is uncontainable at this point. That dude is unreal with what he can do. And then Chris Paul, what he does on both ends of the floor. That's just
my
tough
favorite
blows.
Point guard of all time.
Did you see his words after the game?
I didn't.
Said something like, basically people that want to doubt me, they're going to doubt me, but I know my abilities, that kind of thing.
I love it.
At the end, and then threw in a little fuck it.
That's what
at the very end.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of Chris Paul slander, and he's not for everybody. His competitive nature is very, very strong. You know what I'm saying? He's a winner.
Yeah.
Even though people are going, how is he a winner? He doesn't have any wings. He doesn't have any rings. Excuse me. But I'll tell you why. It's just his approach towards life, his approach towards the game, man. you can tell people who are hungry and people who really love it and people who are serious about their craft, and that's Chris Paul. And I believe he also has a strong up here. He's not the tallest man in the world. You know, we talked about little guys on the podcast before. He falls within that category. On paper, he's what 6 foot, but he's probably really 5'10".
Yeah.
Can't jump out of the gym, but uses his craftiness to still score the ball. Deliver assists. One of the all-time leaders of assists. So, oh man, but yeah, again, huge blow for the Phoenix Suns to lose him. Again, you talked about the trade with Kevin Durant. That happened in mid-season, so one could say they didn't have a lot of time with each other. But when Kevin Durant went to the Phoenix Suns, they were favorites to win the championship, and rightfully so. But again, Denver, they've had their group together for quite some time. Remember, they made it to the Western Conference Finals in the bubble.
Yep.
Where they played the Los Angeles Lakers, and we'll see if that happens again. If we see that rematch from the 2020 bubble down there in Orlando, Florida. So, and the Nuggets not looking like a joke, man.
Because of Mr. Jokic, man, this dude is unreal. But then the depth on that team. And deep. KCP showed up in this last game, and is it? Yeah, no, and they got
Brown guy. I forgot his first name, but he can shoot that. He can shoot that three pretty good as well, along with KCP. Got Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, Bruce Brown. Yeah,
Bruce.
Oh, yeah, Bryce Brown. Was it Bryce Brown?
I think it's Bruce.
Yeah. Yep.
Forgive us.
Jamal Murray, who I love to rave about, man. That dude is a baller, especially when the lights are bright. I feel like he shows up.
Oh man. And if he has some time, he had his struggles too because he dealt with an ACL tear.
A scary one. Yeah,
boy, has he bounced back.
Because before that, he was a baller, and then he's bounced back in a big way, balling out in these playoffs. Yeah, and then even dudes like Michael Porter Jr. I mean, he struggles. He has up and down games, but he's a sneaky piece that can hit a three, for you. And he dunked on Durant during this series. That had to feel good for the young dude. Dunking on probably one of his idols growing up because they're similar, in stature and length and stuff like that, and what they can do on the floor. So I do like the Nuggets. I like what they have. And then, the two-time MVP. And how about the centers making it happen?
Centers, man.
Jokic back-to-back MVPs, and then Joel Embiid this year, who we'll have to talk about that Sixers-Celtics series for sure as well. That's going to Game 7. After the Celtics came alive, after Jayson Tatum came alive last night. Yeah, but they how much did they beat? The score says right there that they beat the Suns by 25, but I'm telling you, they were up 30 at halftime or something like that. And the first score, like early, they were just whooping the Suns, and the Suns couldn't. And mind you, they were on the road. The Nuggets were on the road. It's not like this was a home game for them. They did this in Phoenix. In front of the Suns' home crowd, so that's why the surprise is in my voice right now, how they were able to do that. The Nuggets are for real, man. Well coached, Mike Malone. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He's been with them for some years and has really built that team pretty well. And they got deeper, like you said. So man, they have advanced to the Western Conference Finals as they await their opponent. For either the Lakers or how about Cameron? By the way, Cameron Payne showed up last night.
31 points. Man.
He had a game.
I saw some guy. He placed a bet on FanDuel for Cameron Payne to score 12 points or more, but he put $200 on it, and the total payout was like $14,000, and he took it home.
Some of those, sports betting can sometimes pay off big time when you take some risks.
Our homies are into that over in Kansas. And man,
I've dabbled a little bit here and there.
It's hard there, but I don't got it like that.
It's tough.
Yeah, but anyway.
Oh wait, no, but you want to talk about the Lakers Warriors
we
series?
Can say that for last.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're the most excited about that. That's about to tip off here in a little bit, about an hour and a half.
Because right now, currently, you can see the score for Knicks Heat. That game's going on right now. Looks like it's going to be a good finish in Miami.
Mhm.
Miami has a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals with a win over the Knicks.
Yep.
But if the Knicks win this one, we're going to see. I love Game 7s, so I do always root for that.
Yeah.
Unless
What
it's
you
my
think?
team.
Who you think is gonna? Because remember, the Heat were up
When we went
3-1,
in,
and the Knicks just got their last win. Now they're in Miami for Game 6. Looks like Miami's up 47-46. How do you see this series ending?
I think it's similar to what we've talked about when we went into predicting this series. I still think Miami's going to take it home.
Okay.
This game is interesting. I think since it's in Miami, they'll come out with the win. If not, I think they get it done in New York. They just have with Jimmy Butler. I know he's been dealing with some injuries here and there.
How about this, man? We forgot to talk about on the last pod, playoff Jimmy. And we might have talked about it for a little bit. Playoff Jimmy is for real, man. And I think it's relevant to highlight him and talk about him a little bit as we're talking about this series, because how he flips the switch, from regular season to playoffs. This is the mental fitness of. I believe we got to talk about that. How what he goes through, from a mental standpoint when he switches gears from regular season to playoffs. What is your opinion on that?
I mean, he's a guy. He takes it to a whole nother level. This dude scored 56 points in a game earlier in the playoffs, and so. But I mean, not to take away from what he does in regular season, because he's a dedicated guy who sticks to his craft.
That's right.
But yeah, when it comes to the playoffs, I think he also knows 8th seed Miami Heat team. He knows he's the best player. He knows he has to be that guy, because there's other times, where he has been a number 2. Behind like either Derrick Rose back in the day with the Chicago Bulls, or behind Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota, or behind Joel Embiid in the 76ers. Now he gets to step in, be that number 1 guy, where I think he's proving that might be where he's best suited, is being a number 1 guy on a team, because when he was the number 2 on those guys' teams, he had the mentality of a number 1 guy. And now that he is stepping into that role, he is taking it, by the horns. I guess he's been up with Miami for a couple of years now, but this year, and the way Eric Spoelstra talks about him, he's just another coach out there that also is a baller. So,
man, he leaves it. He leaves it all out there on the floor. His will. You talk about a guy who has willpower, and he just won't be denied. He's going to give. He's going to give you maximum effort night in and night out. And I think that's just a strong indicator of his will. Like I said before, and. You made a good point. He still had that number 1 guy mentality when he was on the teams with other talented players. And listen, Jimmy, he's in the NBA. Obviously, he has talent. But when we're comparing them to, the KDs, the Jayson Tatums, the LeBrons of the world, people don't put him in that light. But still, even though he isn't as talented as those guys, you want him on your side when you're going to battle against those guys, because he's going to give it everything that he has, and that just shows again his mental toughness, his willpower. So I like play it, and he said it earlier on, I think in the media, and at the media day, they asked him his expectations for the season. He's like, championship, man, ring with the roster that they have, and people kind of laughed at it. Miami Heat, who's their second best player? Bam Adebayo. Yeah, Bam. You got Tyler Hero on there, who's obviously hurt right now.
Kyle Lowry.
For the season. Kyle Lowry. And compared to other teams in the league, people, wrote the Miami Heat off.
Because they're not deep. On paper, they're not deep. But also they got your dude K-Love. Which was, I think, a big addition for the playoffs.
Huge addition. Got championship experience, playoff experience. But still, people wrote them off, and look where they're at. They're 1 game away from making it to the Eastern Conference Finals again. Now, mind you, they also I talked about the bubble with the Nuggets. The Heat made the finals.
Yeah.
In 2020, that bubble season, and everybody put an asterisk by the bubble championship. But it looked like the bubble may be repeating itself. If the Heat continue to do what they do, and the Nuggets and the other teams. But anyways, man, Jimmy did the same thing that bubble year, kind of flipped the switch, and that's where you started hearing, the name Playoff Jimmy thrown around there.
That was his first year in Miami, wasn't it?
It might have been
because it feels like ages ago, the bubble, but that was only like
what 3 years ago,
3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
not long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago, but. Man, Jimmy, I believe he's one of the most, when we're talking about mentality, he has one of the best in the league. So I just wanted to highlight that real quick.
Because even when he has controversy in his life,
man,
Rachel Nichols.
You talking about?
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Even when he has some off the court controversies, which I mean, isn't that bad of a deal. I mean, with Rachel Nichols, whatever he did what he did. Mm-hmm. He keeps his mind focused on basketball. You know, he's not going to let that kind of stuff bother him and bring him down. And then obviously, controversies on the basketball court, like when he was in Minnesota with being too hard-headed and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not surprised he and a guy like Karl Anthony Towns didn't work out. I'm a big Cat fan in his game, but way different mentalities. Yeah,
mentality is just different. Maybe his mind is on other things, but Jimmy he's been all about winning. If you all don't know about Jimmy's background, at first when you was like hit challenges in his life, I thought you were referring to because Jimmy was living in his car.
His story of growing up
homeless,
is crazy.
Man.
His parents kicked him out.
He had to grind, and it's crazy. The people who we consider like the mentally strongest people, regardless if it's in sports or in real life, dude, they've been through some stuff.
Exactly.
They're made men, made women. And maybe for sure adversity, helps us, be stronger. Going back to that cliche saying, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. And Jimmy Butler is a prime example of that. So it's no secret how he's able, to stand up against giants in the league, quote unquote, the most talented, and still bring his best and put his team in a position to win. It just goes to show how mentally strong he is, man. And I'm loving from what I'm seeing from him. And
I'm glad you
I think
brought
the Heat
that
are gonna. I think the Heat are gonna advance to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think so too.
And we'll see who their opponent is. If you wanted to add something about Jimmy.
Well, I have to because I'm glad you brought it up about his past and how he grew up and the mentality. And I feel like I relate to this, and I feel like you do too. As he didn't hold a grudge against his parents. He still talks about how he has his parents in his life and he talks to them and he loves them. A lot of people getting kicked out of their house and having to go find your own way as a kid, as a teenager, to figure it out and pick up the pieces, would hold a resentment and say, nah, like stay away from me, rid themselves of their family. But, he was able to not hold that a grudge in his heart and break through that and still have a relationship with his parents. And then also have another mom who took him in once he got kicked out and helped him, stay on the right track of basketball. And then, he went to Marquette. Well, first I think he went to either a junior college or a smaller college before transferring to Marquette and then, making history. Then gets drafted to the Bulls. I think he was instantly, someone who was discounted early on in his career. Especially, I just remember playing 2K. This dude used to be rated like in the 60s kind of thing, early in his career. That quickly changed once people realized what he was.
Yes. Man, you mentioned all of that, and that's that process, man. That process, and that's why I encourage so many of my clients as a mental performance coach, just to fall in love with that process, be process oriented, because that right there is going to shape you into who you want to become. Now, Jimmy, you mentioned everything that he went through before, the different the teams that he was on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This man is in the NBA living the dream. The adversity he faces when it comes to basketball it's probably nothing to him because of the adversity he faced in his real life. It shaped him and prepared him
100%.
for the adversity he faces on the court. So he's going to deliver. And I think with that, that's what separates him from other players in the league who may have been more privileged than him. And that's why I consider Jimmy Butler, regardless if he in the Miami Heat advance to the championship or get a ring or not, I consider Jimmy Butler a winner in my book.
Me too. Good stuff there. Let's talk about who we think they might face. We got a game 7 coming up.
Yeah.
What's that gonna be on Sunday? Yep. Celtics. That Celtics Sixers game was fun to watch.
Oh man, came down to it. A lot of people were dogging Jayson Tatum because I think he had 1 point.
He had 3 points going into the fourth quarter.
3 points going into the fourth quarter. But man, boy, did he turn it on when it mattered the most.
Hit some step back.
I like who caught the game last night.
What's his name with Doris Burke? Mark Jones, is that his name?
Mark Jones. He said something. He I know
smoking on that.
Oh yeah. I saw
smoking on that Sixers pack.
He said that he's been on it with the quotes, but he said something. He referring to Jayson Tatum. He was like, not always there when you call, but always there on time. And I think he was referencing a old school classic R&B song. I cannot think of the name, but it was like always there. Oh, always on time. Maybe it's Ashanti. Is it Ja Rule's?
Yep. It's a Ja Rule Ashanti.
But I was like, man, but nah, that was Jayson Tatum, bro. That was him. That was him last night, bro. 3 points, like you said, going into the fourth, and then just came up in the clutch, huge for the Celtics to force a game 7, do or die moment for them. They were playing the Sixers in Philadelphia.
And a lot of guys have been struggling on the Sixers, like Horford. Al Horford has not, had his, but Marcus Smart was huge in that game. Yeah. I do remember that. And then Jayson Tatum came up huge in the fourth with 16 points. Malcolm Brogdon off the bench.
Brogdon, 6th man of the year.
Mm-hmm. And Jaylen Brown, obviously, he's a stud. I mean,
yeah. They're another deep team, man.
Yep.
Another deep team who I think has the potential to come out of the Eastern Conference. Obviously, they've had a squad for years now. I remember they played the Cavaliers back when LeBron was on the Cavaliers in 2018.
Yep.
The Celtics were in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavaliers. And they forced a game 7, and that was probably LeBron's best year of his career. They forced the game 7, and it came down to a couple of minutes. They would have been in the finals. Mm-hmm. Then they just were in the finals. Fast forward, they played in the finals against the Warriors last year.
Yeah.
And came up short. So they're a squad. Yeah, they're young, but you know what? They got some experience under their belt.
They do.
They got the potential to hoist that trophy up as well.
Oh no, I definitely think Celtics have more than a chance to hoist that. I mean, Jayson Tatum, he said it. Oh man, that was actually, I'm glad I just remembered it. He was talked to after the game, and he said it straight up right away, right when he was getting interviewed. Humbly, I'm one of the best players in the league right now, and that's just the truth. This dude is a baller,
and
man.
He feels that he's the best.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I wish I could pull that quote up right now because the way he said it too was like, oh yeah, you don't even hear that from Tatum all the time. He's a humble dude, but you love hearing that. I feel like from a guy like that.
You can pull it up.
Let's see if I can. It might take me a second.
Ahead. No, yeah, go ahead and take because I got something I want to highlight about Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Jayson Tatum, and we'll mention it again. Him having 3 points going into the fourth quarter.
Right here.
And he turned it on.
Okay, but yeah, go ahead.
He turned it on there, finished with 19 points.
I don't have to tell you that it was a struggle through the first three quarters.
I'm pausing it.
Yeah, so it just goes that right there, his ability to turn it on in the fourth quarter when it mattered the most, facing elimination. That goes to show the importance, y'all, of not overgeneralizing. He started off bad. Most players would just overgeneralize, be like, you know what? I'm 1 for 12. This just isn't my night tonight. I'm out of it. Things aren't going my way. They aren't going to go my way. See you next year. No. One possession at a time. If you want to take it to real life, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, y'all. Just focus on the present moment. Be in the now. And overgeneralizing, thinking just because something bad happens, you wake up in the morning, you're getting ready for work, you spill some coffee on your shirt. Oh, it's just going to be a bad day today. That's just the complete way of going about it. Because guess what? You convince yourself that it's going to be a bad day. You convince yourself that today it's not going to be my game. It's not going to be a game. Just because that's how powerful our thoughts are. So be mindful. And I'm not, I'm not preaching here. This is advice for me, for us as well. Just be mindful of your thinking. Bring your thoughts back to the present. You know what? I spilled coffee in my shirt. Let me go back. Let me go find another shirt right quick. I still got 15 minutes. Oh, I missed this shot. Oh, let me focus on my release. Let me make sure my elbow is in. Always go back to what you can do, that little thing that you can do to make the best out of the cards that you are dealt, make the best out of the situation that you are facing. And I think Jayson Tatum, his performance last night was a prime example of that. And I almost love that more than if he would have had 50 something points. Most people won't compare those two, but guess what? I do, because he had 3 points going into the fourth. Facing elimination, dude. Season can be over, largely because of his play. And this might be like, dang it. Yeah. I'm letting my teammates down. Season gonna be all over because of me. I'm gonna be so. His mind could have been distracted by all of this. He shifted his focus to the present. Next shot, next defensive possession, and that's that's why he's one of the best players in the league, which is what you're getting ready to show me.
He is, and let's watch this real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull this up. There we go.
3 quarters with 16 points.
There we go.
Come on.
Still won't let you go full.
Because it's ESPN doesn't want. Yeah, we just want the audio, I guess.
If we get that audio, we good. Don't got to worry about that.
Let me try this again.
In that fourth quarter, how do you describe the confidence you had to trust yourself down the stretch?
I'm one of the best basketball players in the world. Go through struggles, go through slumps. It's a long game. And, thank God I got some great teammates that held it down. Rob, JB, Smart, Al. And they all trusted me, right? They said, we keep taking great looks. It's going to fall. Keep impacting the game in other ways. And all that mattered was we won this game. Give myself another chance, come back home, for game 7.
And we saw your teammates, Al Horford, talking to guys in the huddle, Marcus Smart throughout this game. Can you describe the resiliency of this group, specifically in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, they made a great run. And, we just talked about the fourth quarter, 12 minutes. Our season is on the line. Everybody knew what was on the line, what we had to do. And we say it all the time, find a way. Whatever that way is, it may be different any given night, but we figured it out tonight.
Back to Boston for Game 7, a similar script to last year's in the semis. What do you need to stress to win this series?
Defense. We held them to 86 points, which is tough. But that's what we got to hang our hat on. Shots to fall, they figure stuff out. We got to defend at a high level. This Game 7, not get any better than that.
Congrats on the win, Jayson.
Man. Nah, that's just humble. He's humble, man. Because even when he says that, then next question he's talking about his teammates, and how important his teammates are. And then Cassidy Hubbard brings up Al Horford and how important Al Horford is to his growth and his, growth as a leader. And I think Jayson Tatum's next step was becoming a leader mentally. And I think he's become that now because he's always had the skill. The skill set has always been there for that guy.
Right.
And now that he's leading this team and then has also some other leaders to help, like Marcus Smart, Al Horford, some dudes that have been in the league for a long, long time. I think the Celtics are going to be really good. And then one last thing I'll say about Tatum is, although he only had 3 points going into that fourth quarter, he was 0 for 10 after the first quarter. Shooting the ball. After that first quarter, he had like 9 rebounds, 6 assists, or first half, I should say.
Find other ways to be effective.
Yes, because he's such a good player.
Mm-hmm.
He attracts attention, and he knows that he's still going to find his teammates, and as he still tries to score the basketball. But man, I'm a big fan of Jayson Tatum.
Me too, man. Humble, but still confident, you know, in his game and his abilities. And he mentioned his teammates there. You know, his teammates just still having faith in him, even though he was missing shots. And when I was talking about overgeneralizing and how we want to avoid that, it definitely does make it easier when you have a support system and people, you know, encouraging you every step of the way. So if you're a teammate of somebody or a coworker, and you're noticing your coworker or teammate, spouse, whatever the case may be, you know, struggling a little bit, you know, that just shows what Jayson Tatum was alluding to, you know, demonstrates the importance of, you know, giving them encouragement, you know, and then they will, you know, that'll spark, you know, the positiveness in them to start feeding into more, you know, just positive thoughts, and eventually they'll get out of that slump or they'll overcome that struggle. So yeah, that just shows how important, you know, human connection is, and, you know, uplifting each other. And being allies.
Mental fitness, man. I love what you just mentioned.
You know, that's what I want to do, man.
Didn't mean to do that.
Nah, it's all good. You see,
that was that step back over Embiid.
Shot?
Yeah, that was incredible.
Cold-blooded. At a huge
he hit
moment.
2 step backs in a row that really took the Celtics to the next level in that fourth quarter, and they won.
I like how even though you played the video on accident, you didn't overgeneralize. You didn't be like, "Oh, our video is done now." You know what I'm saying? You just use it as a segue to the next thing, man. I love it.
But let's talk about the Sixers before we move on, man. That's a team that really had a chance to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost the game 1 of this series and then won 3 straight. Then had a chance to win 4 straight, and allow Embiid is getting a lot of heat because he, you know, kind of disappeared in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The MVP of the league.
Yeah.
So good, such a good basketball player. But I think the Sixers' problem isn't really just Embiid. It's just collectively they need to be, you know, play some smarter basketball.
They need to be better, yeah. Yeah, it's and you know, like I mentioned earlier, the Celtics was so much, they're young, but they have a lot of experience, you know, and they weren't going to be easy to put away. So I think it was more about the Celtics winning that game instead of the 76ers losing it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But with Joel Embiid and his struggles, I think they came down to, you know, fatigue a little bit, and Joel Embiid is not 100% healthy.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are, you know, in the playoffs at this point in the season, but he has something going on, I believe, with his knee, plus fatigue down the stretch. So I think that's why, you know, we didn't see much of him. Harden has been pretty good most of the series, but until
0 for 6 from 3 is unacceptable for James Harden.
4 for 16 from the floor.
It's tough.
You know what I'm saying? But he's James Harden is a huge reason why they took a commanding lead in the series at one point. But yeah, now it's all tied up, man. Heading into Game 7, it can go either way, man. It could go either way.
I know
they are going back to Boston.
Yeah.
Oh man. Who do you think? Who do you think takes it?
Well, I mean, we're talking about, let's see, the Sixers went ahead and beat Boston in Boston the last time they were there. But I still think it's going to be Boston. I like the depth on that team. Both teams are deep, but it's really going to – I just like the consistency at the end of the day. The coaching and everything involved. I mean, no knock on Doc Rivers, but who's the coach for the Celtics again? A young dude?
Muscula?
Yeah, he's a sharp dude. He's really
he's
you know,
his thing.
Yes, and he, I think, modern type of basketball coach who really likes to, you know, find open threes or get layups type of guy. And I think that's, you know, what works for the Celtics and what works for most teams out here. And when you have guys like Jayson Tatum and Marcus Smart, who just coming off a huge game, I like what the Celtics can do. And Jaylen Brown, I can't forget about him. But if James Harden can come out and have a 30-point game, the Sixers are going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. When you combine that with Joel Embiid, what he can do, and then Tyrese Maxey, who's a baller,
Yeah.
I do think it's a coin flip. I don't know, but I'll lean the home team right now.
Jeez, dude, this is tough.
I know it is a tough one.
If I had to choose, I'm going with the Celtics, man. I'm going with the Celtics. And the reason I am because I feel like that game for the 76ers was, theirs for the taking. Maybe they could have had some maybe they could have closed them out, and they probably should have, in that game 6 at home. It was a huge missed opportunity. And I think with Jayson Tatum struggling, was really a chance for them to seize the opportunity. But, he heated up. And largely because of him, we got a game 7 headed back to Boston. And I just think with the experience Boston had, obviously, Doc Rivers' experienced head coach, James Harden has been in his fair share of playoffs. Joel Embiid as well, but they haven't made the finals. Then Doc Rivers has, but James Harden and Joel Embiid haven't seen the finals yet. Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, even their new coach, they've been there.
Yep.
And I think they're eager to get back. I think they loved their chances against the Warriors last year, and they want to show the world that they are capable of being a championship team. So. Oh man, I think the momentum changed drastically. I think Boston has full momentum now, and I think they're gonna take advantage of it on Mother's Day, Game 7, and head to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Shout out to all the mothers out there.
Yeah,
for real,
shout out
for
to
real.
all the mamas,
including your wife,
including my wife, Jordan. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Looking forward to spending time with her, my mother. Shout out to my mom. Everybody,
my
man,
moms,
all the
too.
moms out there. Mental Fitness Hub,
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? They go through a lot mentally, and
Oh, yeah.
we have so much strong mothers, single parent mothers out
Mhm.
there. You can
Absolutely.
only imagine the toll that takes on their mind, but they're still doing all they can for their kid and raising good young men and young women, and yeah. So shout out to them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
Yeah.
Tobias Harris also needs to be better with the Sixers. 1-7. I mean, that's a dude that makes a lot of money in Philly, and 2 points.
And you're surprised because
that's a
usually
glaring.
role players and stars play better at home, but
And he played 42
and that's
minutes.
another reason why I'm leaning Boston, because you got the role players play better at home thing. And,
Yeah.
they missed the opportunity. Like, they didn't show up on their home court the other night, and now we're headed back to Boston, where we can expect, as good as Boston played, their role players and their stars play better at home, and the crowd being behind them. Oh man, yeah.
Now I think we covered everything besides I think the main event.
Main event, man. Tips off here in less than an hour.
We gotta get this podcast uploaded here.
Less than an hour, man. So we can, man. Listen, going into we previewed this round.
Yeah.
Both of us chose the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, your heart wants the Warriors to win, but you picked the Lakers in 7.
Yep.
I picked the Lakers in 5. My prediction was close. We had a 3-1 lead in going back to Golden State. But the Lakers just, the Golden State wasn't going down. And we understand that, right? I joked around earlier, and I said I should have listened to my mind when my mind was telling me, and that was Lakers in 6. And here we are, Game 6 is tonight. Lakers up 3-2. What are your thoughts about where the series is at right now?
I think Game 4 is an example of why I still think the Lakers are going to take it home, whether it's tonight or in Game 7. LeBron has this team figured out, man. He's played this team so many times. That Draymond turnover in Game 4 was literally just LeBron being so smart and saying, "Hey, AD, go over there," and making sure that pass doesn't get to Klay Thompson, who's hit that play and that game shot against LeBron so many times, whatever. LeBron has his team figured out, and Yes, they couldn't get it done in Golden State. Now's their opportunity to get it done in LA. LeBron's not going to let it happen. Whether I just don't see it. Yeah, my heart's hoping that Steph and Clay and Draymond can carry this further. And Andrew Wiggins, can't forget about him. I love the way he's been playing.
Yeah,
He's a dude that just
he
puts
came
his
up
heart out
big
there.
last game.
Yeah.
He came up big last game.
So I'm hoping the Golden State Warriors get it done, but your man, dude, I just don't know. He's got this Warriors team figured out.
Well, you know what I do want to say, like, you can't Warriors. They're the defending champions for a reason. They're not going to go down easy, even though they are on the road. And they're feeling like they can take one. They're in their mind, they're thinking we just need one more, and then we're going back home for a game 7. And I know they like their chances in that scenario. Draymond Green, he came out in game 5 with a lot of energy. And he scored the ball.
He did.
He had I forgot it. He had over 20. And he was just, his presence defensively was felt. And I think he's capable of repeating that tonight, even in LA. And let's just be honest. Stars love to play in LA.
Exactly.
Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying? They can feel it home. They'll see some of the celebrities. They'll probably know in the crowd supporting them. It's a Friday night. I don't think they're going to go down easy. But I think the Lakers pull out tonight in 6. That's what my mind was telling me. Even though my heart wanted it to be over in 5. Lakers find a way to get it done in a close one tonight in front of their home crowd. You talked a lot about LeBron and his IQ. I'm right with you there. But LeBron has yet this series and really in the playoffs to score 30 points.
It is wild.
He has not had a 30-point game. He struggled offensively. I don't think even though he's 38 years old, I don't think that's due to age. LeBron, you remember he went down in Dallas with a torn tendon in his foot. Dennis Schroeder, his teammate, hooked him up with one of his Dennis Schroeder's from Germany, so he hooked him up with his German doctor that was able to help LeBron make a speedy recovery. But you can see he doesn't have that same lift. I forgot what game it was. It might have been game 2. Game 3. Somebody threw a lob to LeBron, one that he usually just throws down with one hand. We've seen it plenty of times, but he went to kind of lay it in and missed the leg. They called a foul, but man, and I think somebody didn't. Nobody. It's not like somebody pushed him or something like that, like out of midair. They might have had his hand on him, but that's a throwdown by LeBron usually, and he's not attacking he's not going downhill as much, so he's limited to what he can do. But I think I think he's been limiting himself. Let me say that, because maybe in the back of his mind he's risking injury. But I think tonight is just one of those nights he senses the urgency. He knows this Golden State team, like you said, more than anybody, and I think because of that, he's going to come out in attack mode is what I'm anticipating and what I'm hoping, and I think we'll see LeBron's first 30-point game in the playoffs. If not 30, a strong offensive night from him. His presence will be felt, and I think the Lakers close it out in 6.
You can't question Bron's toughness, especially you bring up the tendon stuff, and he's playing on this. But you can question his teammate Anthony Davis's toughness. We
thought AD wasn't going to play tonight.
That would have changed the whole script.
Yeah, it would have.
But you know who didn't think that he was gonna be out that game after the tiny little? I mean, listen, I'm sure it hurts. Kevon Looney has that. What they call it, the vibranium elbow.
Yeah.
He's hit some dudes with that elbow in the past. But still, you watch the video, it looked like AD, to me, barely got hit. And then he leaves the floor. You said he goes back to a room. Or no, I heard, he went back to a room, and then they got taken from that room to the locker room in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Turns out he didn't have a concussion. There's no nothing. And then Shaq and Chuck are laughing at him.
Oh man, that was funny. Shaq and Charles are always fun to look at. They were teasing them a little bit, and they just want AD to be, stronger. He's known for Charles Barkley, actually the one who gave AD the nickname Street Clothes because he's always missed so many games. He hasn't missed any games yet in the playoffs, to his credit. Right, but he's missed his fair share of games the last 2 seasons for the Los Angeles Lakers, which did affect them in a negative way. But here we are, they're in round 2 with that opportunity to close out the defending champions, and he had us on a scare. But I think he's also somebody, and that is the question when you're talking about toughness. Will he come out in attack mode? Will he? But I think people have been criticizing him for that very thing. Going out, they've been calling him soft on every, big platform, sports platform. And I think he comes out, if Anthony Davis is who I think he is, I think he's going to come out in attack mode, using all that criticism as fuel to help his team become victorious against the champs tonight and move on to the Western Conference Finals.
I think AD is an elite talent, but I think he's soft. I think simply,
really?
Yes. I mean,
mentally, physically,
perhaps both.
Both.
I think both. I mean, I don't know enough about his injuries in the past. Whether it was more mental or physical. Very well could be physical. We're talking about a 7-foot guy, and I'm sure most of it is physical. But I just think that play from that last game with Looney hitting him in the side of the head and him not returning. He didn't return, did he? Didn't return.
Mm-hmm.
That's soft to me. You wouldn't see that 30 years ago in the game. That happens. The guy's standing up, getting back in his face, saying, "What you doing, Looney?" And you see, where's the like? I'm talking about this is. I don't know. That was some soft. One of those. You watch the NBA more than I do lately, as far as regular season goes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the softest things I've seen in a long time.
You know what? And I think people are quick because the Lakers were down. They were fighting to come back that whole game, that game 5, and it didn't look like they were going to get into the game to point Anthony Davis was elbowed. So I see what people are talking about, soft from a standpoint, and maybe he was just exaggerating a little bit. And he did end up getting he costed his team a bucket from not getting back on defense, and that led to Dr. Ham calling the timeout. So you wonder if he kind of had used his antics, made it more dramatic than what it actually was, so his teammates wouldn't be pissed at him either for not getting back on defense because they wanted to close out Golden State there. And now they're in this situation. But look, man, I don't think AD is soft. I don't think he's soft, especially from a mental standpoint. I can understand why people question it though.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is, which is why I said if he is who I think he is, he's going to come out tonight in full attack mode, and it's only going to help that they're in LA and the crowd is going to be behind him. I don't think he's going to have as good of a game as he did game 1 when he had 30 points and 23 rebounds or something like that. But I think we will see a 20-10 game from AD at least. And I think we're going to get one of those AD roars this game. I think he's going to be pumped up, man. And I think not only because it's a game 6 in front of his home crowd, but I think he's going to be. I think he heard Charles Barkley and Shaq laughing at him.
Sure he did.
I think he's heard other people, have the same opinions of you and calling him soft. And I think he's going to use it as fuel tonight.
I think Looney, keep doing what you're doing, playing physical, and I think you can slow him down. I'm not going to say you're going to knock him out of the game or whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. He's going to have to prove something to me tonight, and we're watching the game. We're going to be watching together. So
What you think, Steph? What you think you're going to get from Steph and Clay before we?
Yeah, we need to sign off here.
Yeah.
Steph and Clay, they need to, probably combine for 60 points tonight. I want to see that.
Dang.
I know.
I don't want to see that.
I want to see that. I want to see combined for 60 points, and I want to see both cooking from deep. I mean, that's the key, and they're
Yeah,
both so
yeah.
capable.
Yeah, very capable,
And
man.
that will get them to Game 7. And it's going to be tough because Lakers are going to key in on them. But
Yeah.
I like the chances. I think they can in this game. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me sticking with my prediction. It's going to go to 7. But I just I like what those two can do specifically. If Draymond, like you brought up, can score the basketball like he did in the last game, that's going to be key.
That was a factor, huge factor for them.
Exactly.
When he's scoring the ball and bringing that defensive presence and that aggression, they're tough to beat. They're tougher to beat.
Yes,
they're already tough to beat, but they're tougher to beat.
And then Andrew Wiggins has also been a guy that I think is a key
he's
piece.
Banged up too. He has a rib injury, but he's gonna play. He decided to play through it.
That's toughness
tonight.
Right there.
Yeah. At this point in the season, man, mind over matter.
Exactly.
And that's something in our intro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that said, mind over matter. Got to keep going. Can't slow down.
Who's that song by again?
I don't know, man. Some dude. I don't know.
Coach Chris.
That is me on the intro. If y'all didn't know, but no, really, at this point in the season for all NBA players, it's mind over matter. Everybody is going after one thing, and that's that Larry O'Brien trophy, and they know it's the toughest and the strongest is going to survive, man. And and Golden State was that team last year, and they're not going to be easy to put out this time. But I think LA is for real. I think LeBron. We talked about him. He has something to prove still, even though he's hobbled. I think we're going to see his best effort tonight. AD has a bounce back game. There's been a couple of games where D'Angelo Russell, the last 2 games actually, he hasn't really shown up and shot the ball well. I expected for him to shoot it well tonight. And I think the Los Angeles Lakers beat the defending champions tonight. And they advanced to the Western Conference Finals, man. That's my final pick. What about you?
I still think it's going to be Lakers in 7. I think Lakers get it done in Golden State. What is that going to be on Sunday? Or Sunday and Monday. But, yeah, I don't know. Because I don't want to see you. I'd rather the series continue on tonight since we're watching together specifically.
It could possibly, man. It could go either way. That's the crazy. That's the thing. That's the beauty with the playoffs. These things can go either way. Things can change game to game.
But a lot of parity in these playoffs so far. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a series a series between the 6 and the 7 seeds.
Yes.
You don't see that very often.
Yes.
This is some parity in the NBA that I love to see.
Man, we're gonna see what happens here real soon.
Yeah.
I know we gotta eat here soon before the game comes on. But man, another good segment here. Always, wishing y'all the best. Stay safe. Again, happy mothers again to the mothers out there. Y'all continue to take care of y'all mental and holding the household down. Fellas, you too, be nice to your girl, your women, your wives. And let's continue to celebrate them, and let's continue to take care of our minds.
Well said.
All right.